happy President's Day weekend. Previewing Rutgers at Minnesota on Sunday night, 6:30 BTN. Monster game for Rutgers. Looking for a huge win on the road, a place that has been just a nightmare for them the last 2 years. 2 years ago, losing, Minnesota had, I think, 3 starters out in that game. It was like a noon game on a weekend, and they played terribly, lost that. And then, of course, last year, the game that was kind of, I look at it as the nail in the coffin in terms of Rutgers missing the NCAA tournament. They had the game. They were up, was it 10 with like a minute and a half to go? Epic collapse. And so they're going to be facing some demons in the barn in Minnesota. I've been there. It's a tremendous environment. And Minnesota has played well at home this year. They're 4-2. They have lost their last 2 home games at the barn, and that was to Michigan State. And they lost their last 2 games on the road. Their last 2 home games, they won Northwestern in overtime, Michigan State. 2 impressive wins there. They have lost twice at home to Indiana and to Iowa and Wisconsin. So they also beat Nebraska. They also beat Maryland at home. They're 6-7 overall in the Big Ten, 4-2 at home. KenPom wise, they are 72nd right now. This is Saturday night. I'm coming to you, so it'll change. They're 88th offensively and 68th defensively. What stands out about them is they're super strong inside on both ends of the floor. They're shooting 55% from 2-point range, 55.4%, 22nd best nationally. And they're shooting, they're allowing opponents just 46.3 inside, 39th. So they're really good rim defenders. They're really good scoring inside. Dawson Garcia, the North Carolina transfer, Minnesota kid, he's really good, 6'11". He's shooting, great free throw shooter, 134 attempts. He's shooting 83% from the line. He's shooting over 50% inside. You also have Ola Joseph, who's shooting 67% inside. Farrell Payne is shooting 62%. Payne is 6'9", sophomore. Ola Joseph's 6'7", sophomore, more of a wing type, but, undersized big or undersized 4, I'd say. And, they're really limiting opponents inside. So this is a tough matchup for Rutgers. This is a much better Minnesota team than the last 2 years, and Rutgers lost both those games. Just in terms of how they match up in this game, Minnesota also 2 great 3-point shooters in Mike Mitchell and Cam Christie. Mike Mitchell shooting 40% on over 100 attempts, and Cam Christie, the freshman, shooting 42% on 119 attempts. Mitchell, 130 attempts, 40%. So they're the 2 deep threats. So that's a big concern in this game. Rutgers closing out in threes. Now, the one thing that Rutgers matches up really well against Minnesota is they turn the ball over quite a bit. They have, 17, over 18% turnover rate, 205th nationally. They also do not turn opponents over much at all. They're 227th there. They're not a good free throw shooting team, 68%, 301st, similar to Rutgers. And they're prone to steals, 291st worst offensive steal rate nationally. And then just in terms of how these 2 teams match up, Minnesota is not good at defending the 3. They're allowing opponents almost 35%. Obviously, Rutgers hit just 29.4% for the year, 335th nationally. They're, like I said, Minnesota's great defending inside, defending the rim. They have a relatively high block rate. And in terms of rebounding, though, they're, okay offensive rebounding, right around 198th, 31%. They are not great at keeping opponents off the boards, 29%, 181st. So in terms of Big Ten play, how do these teams match up? Minnesota right now, and this is, again, there's a couple games still going on. They're 9th in offensive efficiency, and they are 9th in defensive efficiency. Rutgers is last in offensive efficiency and number 1 in defensive efficiency. Minnesota has turned it over quite a bit in league play. They're 11th They've done a really good job at getting to the line and also converting inside. They're shooting almost 53% inside the arc, but getting to the free throw line a lot, but they're only shooting 66% in league play from the line. Rutgers, by the way, shooting a little bit better from the free throw line, but they're 12th. And in terms of free throw rate, Rutgers is not getting to the line at all in Big Ten play, 13, 28%, very low. Rutgers is shooting not well from three in Big Ten play, 31%, though. That's a little bit better. 2-point range, 41%, which is worse in the conference. So this game is concerning in the sense of, can Rutgers convert inside? Obviously, Williams, Derek Simpson have been able to go downhill, get inside. Can they finish in this game? Cliff, can he finish in this game? Rutgers is going to have to hit some threes in this game. Minnesota is allowing 37% from three, 10th worst in the league. Rutgers has been pretty good against the three, 33%, fourth. Rutgers is number one in block rate defensively, number one in turnover rate. So that's huge. Minnesota, in terms of, they're 12th in offensive rebounding for opponents. Opponents are getting offensive boards at a 32% rate. So Rutgers has to get offensive rebounds. They have to get second chance points. They have to get score off of turnovers, get out in transition, hit some threes off of penetration. You got to hit at least 6 or 7 threes in this game, I think. You got to contain their three-point shooters. It is an interesting matchup. It is not one that, I look at it and say Rutgers has, 2 or 3 clear advantages on. Foul trouble, I think, could be an issue in this game. How Rutgers does inside. Obviously, some concerns with Moat Mag, the late scratch on Thursday. They're really going to need him inside on both ends of the floor in this game. No word on whether, I'm sure it's probably a game time decision again. Noah Fernandez, from 3-point range, played really good in the first half. Team offense in terms of 3 assists, 5 rebounds. Just playing as a great teammate. Did not come out in the second half. Pico said he's got a knee issue. If I had to bet, the fact that Noah didn't play at all in the second half, what remains to be seen. Hopefully he can play in this game. But Mag, I think there's probably a better chance just because he was a lead scratch. It sounds like it's just soreness. But if he does play, they're really going to need the Mag of to be the defensive prowess that he is, but also they need him on the boards. They need him scoring inside. So that's a big question mark for this game. And if Cliff does get in foul trouble, how does Agbole show up? Does Wolf get some time in this game? And then also going back to 3-pointers, Oscar Palmquist, can he build off of that? 3-point pointers made. Sorry, it's been a long day. From behind the arc in that first half, that was so key to beating Northwestern on Thursday. They're going to need the bench to hit threes. And I've talked about this dynamic being a little bit different, is that all their best 3-point shooters are on the bench. Obviously, if Mag doesn't play, Hyatt will start. Hyatt will hunt threes. But Rutgers just has to, keep their composure in this game, bring the defensive intensity, limit turnovers. Minnesota is turnover prone. Now, they have a really good point guard in Elijah Hawkins. He has one of the highest assist rates in the country. Just looking him up. Yeah, he's 6th nationally with a 40% assist rate. So he really, leads their offense. Minnesota's pretty good at swinging the basketball. They have a very high assist rate as a team. They are 2nd nationally. Wow, 67.7%. So Rutgers is going to be tested defensively in this game. Ball pressure is going to be hard because Minnesota really is going to move it. They don't go into a lot of isolation. It's going to be hard to double them in traps in the half court. That press is going to be key. Can they create? I think they're going to have to create turnovers off the press. It's going to be harder to create double teams and traps in the half court because Minnesota moves the ball so well. Elijah Hawkins, he's smaller. Jermichael Davis is going to be on him. You have to imagine, maybe Simpson at times, but can they slow him down? And can they force turnovers from the secondary guys? Can they close out on threes? Can they, limit Garcia and Ola Joseph in the paint? And, they're going to have to limit them to one chance opportunities. They can't allow Minnesota second chance points, second chance opportunities off offensive rebounds because they'll kill them inside. They can't allow it. And it's this is going to be a 40-minute game. The Rutgers, the Kempom projects Minnesota to win 66-62. I believe they're a 2.5-point underdog. This is not a game that you can expect to win by any means, but they certainly have a chance. Rutgers has never won 5 Big Ten regular season games in a row. They've won 4. They've done it 3 times now. They've never won 5 in a row. They've never won 3. And going back to conference, Dave White tweeted, which I know is correct. They have not won 5 regular season conference games since the Big East in 1996. I was a high school senior when they did that. So a lot of history opportunity in that regard. And then they've never won 3 Big Ten road games in a row either. True 3 Big Ten road games in a row. They won at Michigan. They won at Maryland. They've won 2 in a row, a couple times at this point, but they've never won 3. So a lot of history could fall tomorrow in a positive way for Rutgers, but more importantly, just the momentum of the season. If they win tomorrow night, if they win Sunday, and if they've been dealing with adversity, with injuries, depending on who plays or doesn't play, who steps up, or in the victory, I will really feel like they are on some kind of crazy run that you can't, you shouldn't be surprised if anything positive happens at this point. I mean, they're on the cusp right now. Listen, you lose tomorrow night, I would say the margin for error is basically 0 after that in terms of making, a tournament run outside of winning the Big Ten tournament. You do have at Purdue on Thursday. That could be a huge win. I mean, Minnesota, listen, it wouldn't be a catastrophic loss. Or it's a Q2 opportunity. Rutgers is 6-9 in Q1, Q2 games right now. They've won 3 road games overall. They have that quad 1 win at Seton Hall, which is huge. So this would do nothing but wonders to continue the positive momentum and even Rutgers up at 7-7 in Big Ten play. It would be huge. It'd be absolutely huge. Where this season goes, we don't know. But this team has just been a joy to watch the last 4 games. Jeremiah Williams obviously is going to be huge in this game. Can he finish in the paint? He made some, ridiculous shots. His footwork is so good offensively, off the dribble, that jump stop, and just him catching himself, being able to make kind of some acrobatic, kind of low percentage shots that he's been making. Will those continue to fall? Derek Simpson, what is his decision making going to be like in this game? Is he going to be able to get to the rim? Is he going to pull up for contested 2s? Can he make some elbow 2s? He did a good job of that against Michigan. That was key in that game. So it's going to require contributions from everyone in this game. We don't know who's going to be available, who's not. But it's, who shoots better from the line is a huge X factor in this game. I am concerned about foul trouble in this game for Rutgers. But, if they can draw some fouls inside, if you can get Dawson Garcia in foul trouble, that would be big. But you have to exercise some demons in this game. Rutgers has not played well. I think that actually helps him in this game. I think Pike will be in their ear about that. I think the guys that were on last year's team are going to want to make up for that loss last year. So there's a lot of dynamics to this game. But overall, I mean, they're pretty equal in terms of how they performed this year. Minnesota's considered, to be more on the NCAA tournament track just because of their overall record, but that could change quickly. And Rutgers is playing with great confidence and great toughness right now, and both are going to have to show up in a big way on Sunday night, 6:30 BTN, Rutgers, Minnesota. Can the ride continue? Can history be made with extending that winning streak on the road, extend the winning streak in conference play, and just getting this team? Essentially, they win this game, they're officially on the bubble. There should be no denials in that regard, and it's going to be I think it's going to be a really hard fought game. Minnesota's tough at home this year, and they're a better team. So I do think Peichel has the edge over Ben Johnson, the Minnesota coach. Let's see if he can draw up some some wrinkles in this game. Again, I think the press, the 1-3 zone, 1-3-1 zone you mix in here and there, ball pressure. But getting out in passing lanes. Can Rutgers jump passing lanes? Are they going to, get burned by taking too many chances? But Minnesota is turnover prone. And they're going to have to shut down. I think if they can slow down Elijah Hawkins, they can, close out on shooters, not get beat on ball reversals, limit them to one-shot possessions, own the glass in this game. It's probably a game they're going to shoot 40% from two. That's just what they do, right? They're going to have to hit some threes. They're going to have to get some transition baskets, some easy baskets inside in transition, and they're going to have to finish from the line. So we'll see what happens. Thanks for listening and watching once again, and I'll be back after the game with a rapid reaction. Appreciate and I hope everyone has a great rest of the weekend.